Good afternoon, dear participants. We request you to rename your profile name with the participant ID followed by your name. Participant IDs are given in the WhatsApp group. The list is provided. And one more important thing is, in the middle of the session, there will be a poll. One single simple question will be asked, which is used for the attendance. Okay, so all of you are be attentive. Poll question may come at any time, and if you attempt that, then the attendance will be considered. Your presence will be accounted. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon to all the participants for the day one session, session one on innovations in electrical vehicles and entrepreneurship scopes. This session is given by Dr. Praveen Jaggi, Principal GRAET. Sir is the PhD from Osmania University in Power Electronics and registered PhD guide at Department of EEE JNTH, and received a Best Teacher Award and Best Project Award from the Indian Society of Technical Education ISTE. Sir has also received 100 lakh DST FIST project, 20 lakh DST Fast Track Young Scientist Grant, and 30 lakh USAID consultancy project on energy systems professional training. He is contributing to a major research area in power electronics and has more than 80 research publications. Sir has an international certification on high impact teaching skills by Dale Carney and Associates, INC, Trainers, USA. Mission 10X and Wipro Technologies. Sir has a Cambridge International certification for teachers and trainers. Sir is also a senior member, IEEE, MIE, Life member, and ISTE. Sir is a certified LabVIEW associate developer from National Instruments, USA. I request Dr. Praveen sir to continue to deliver a session, sir.
Thank you. Are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Sir, your PPT is not visible.
Yeah, I'm sharing it. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's visible. Please continue.
So good afternoon to all the participants, and thank you, Dr. Padma Madam, for introduction. So I'll take about an hour discuss about automotive technologies research with respect to this field. So basically, this is one of the emerging area where we talk about electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, fuel cell vehicles. So electric vehicle is a pure EV. So pure EV is so entire the operation of vehicle is with respect to electric motor and the batteries. where the hybrid electric vehicles, where we can use alternatively, if you want to use run the vehicle as electric vehicle, or we can also have provision to use as IC engine actually. Then fuel cell vehicles. So these are all the three major things in electric vehicles. So basically, this is one of the Tesla vehicles. So Tesla is one of the electric vehicle which is having highest regard in this EV things. So basically, electric cars offers numerous advantages compared to traditional internal combustion engines. The advantages you can see environmental benefits. So electric cars produce zero emissions basically, reducing air pollutions, greenhouse gas emissions, and also they contribute to improving local air quality and combating climate change by reducing carbon dioxide emissions. Then coming to energy efficiency, electric cars are more energy efficient than internal combustion engine vehicles. So they convert a higher percentage of stored energy from the grid into power at the wheels, whereas ICE vehicles waste energy through heat and friction. This efficiency results in lower energy consumption and cost saving for drivers. And renewable energy integration. So electric cars can be charged using electricity generated from renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, hydropower. By integrating with clean energy systems, electric car can contribute to more sustainable energy ecosystems. Reduce noise pollution. Electric motors are quieter than internal combustion engine. This feature helps reduce noise pollution in urban areas, making electric vehicle more comfortable for both drivers and pedestrians. This is one of the you can see the at the bottom we have the battery cars, and this is basically a hybrid electric vehicle where IC engine is also there. Then batteries are also there, and this is the uh, battery propulsion system for strip down with Chevy Bolt, and this is the battery pack of Chevy Bolt. And if you see the operating cost, actually electric cars have low operating cost compared to conventional vehicles. The cost per mile driven is generally lower for the electric car due to the lower cost of electricity compared to gasoline or diesel. Maintenance costs also typically lower since electric cars have fewer moving parts and do not require oil changes or traditional engine maintenance. So if you compare the conventional IC engine car, you have about 12,000 to 13,000 different parts actually. Whereas if you take electric vehicle, so 90% of the parts are removed. So only 1200 parts are there. So that is how the maintenance of the vehicle will come down drastically. And not only these things, government also giving a lot of incentives. So many governments offer incentive to encourage and adoption of electric vehicles. These incentives may include tax credit grants or subsidies, making electric car more affordable for consumers. And also we have regenerative braking. So electric cars utilize regenerative braking technology, which converts kinetic energy during braking into electricity. This process helps recharge the car battery and extend its driving range. And another major advantage of electric car is high torque and instant acceleration. Electric motors deliver instant torque, providing quick acceleration and smooth driving experience. Electric cars often have impressive acceleration capabilities, making them fun and enjoyable to drive. Then range improvement. Battery technology advancement have improved the range of electric car over years. Modern electric vehicles can travel hundreds of miles on single charge, reducing range anxiety and making them more practical for long distance travel. And this is more sustainable actually. Electric car play crucial role in transition towards a more sustainable transportation system. As renewable energy sources continue to expand, electric vehicles becoming cleaner and more sustainable over time. And see, the lot of development is coming with respect to the batteries actually. So there are main three types of batteries are used in the electric cars. So the first one is lithium ion batteries. So this is the most common type of battery used in electric vehicle. So it is having high energy density, lightweight design, and long life cycle. Lithium ion batteries provide a good balance between energy storage capacity and weight, making them suitable for electric car applications. They offer high power output, quick charging times, and are currently the most efficient options available. And the next popular battery for electric car is nickel metal hydride. We call it NiMH batteries. So these batteries in newer electric car models and have been also used in hybrid electric vehicles and some earlier EV models also they have been used. They have a lower energy density compared to lithium ion batteries, but they are relatively less expensive and have a longer lifespan. However, these NiMH batteries are bulkier and heavier, which can limit their use in fully electric vehicles. The next thing is the solid state batteries. Solid state batteries are promising technology under development for electric vehicles. They use solid electrolytes instead of liquid electrolytes found in lithium ion batteries. Solid state batteries offer several advantages, including higher energy density, faster charging times, improved safety, and potentially longer lifespan. However, commercial availability and widespread adoption of solid state batteries in electric car are still in the research and development stage. So these are all the some of the chemical equations actually what happens with respect to these batteries and how much voltage is being produced. So these are all some of the systems. You can see the fuel cell system, then thermal management system, air processing system, fuel processing system. So these are all with respect to automotive fuel cells and balance of the plant. And this is a 2010 Prius model actually. So these are all the planetary gear system, differential gear system, and 2007 Camry model. So and this is the 2007 Toyota Camry hybrid electric vehicle. So how the laminations etc. you can see in this model. And this is automotive powertrain induction motor, both stator and rotor. You can see in this picture. And this is a view of the IPM rotor from 2007 Toyota Camry hybrid electric vehicle actually. And this is the stator rotor lamination of 2004 Toyota Prius model. This is the opportunity Mars rover image and self portrait of the Mars. So here you can see this is a pure electric vehicle and also the power is being fed by solar power. And this is one of the electric motor, cordless DC motor. So we have different type of motors are being used. So we have brushless DC motor. So brushless DC motors are widely used in electric cars due to their high efficiency, compact size, and excellent power to weight ratio. They use permanent magnet on the rotor and electronic commutation to control the motor's operation. BLDC motors offer smooth and precise control of speed and torque, making them suitable for electric vehicles. Then the next best machine which we use is permanent magnet synchronous motor. We call it PMSM motor. So these motors are similar to BLDC motors. They have some difference in construction. They also use permanent magnet on the rotor, but their stator windings are designed differently to optimize performance. PMSM motors provide high efficiency, improved torque density, excellent control characteristics, and these things make PMSM motors commonly used in electric cars. And we use induction motors. So induction motors are also known as asynchronous motors. So these are all used in some of the Tesla models also. People are using induction motors. They do not require permanent magnets on the rotor and instead rely on electromagnetic induction to produce the torque. Induction motors are robust, reliable, relatively less expensive than other motors. Then we have switched to a reluctance motor, we call it SRM motors. So these motors have a simple construction with a rotor that has salient poles and a stator with windings. SRM motors operate by controlling the magnetic reluctance between rotor and stator poles. They offer good torque output and are relatively cost effective. So these are all the different, and here you can see automatic induction motor, so rotor, aluminum bar and end rings. So if you see all these images, so we'll have idea about what are the different components in electric motor. So this is dynamometer setup for machine testing. And this is a power controller diagram for 2010 Toyota Prius. So here you can see we have battery, then filter capacitor, then we have all the power electronics circuit, so inverter and motor inverter circuit and generator inverter circuit. So basically here we are using bidirectional DC-DC controller, and this is how controls are there in the 2010 Prius motor, but more or less many electric vehicles have similar control. And this is the actual design of inverter and motor side and the battery capacitors, filters, etc. used in the electric vehicles actually. So this is used in Toyota Prius model. And this is hybrid electric bidirectional DC-DC converter. So these are all the LC filters and other components actually. So this is the EMI, then other inductors, etc. So this is the Simulink inverter circuit. So most of the time when we want to design electric vehicle, so all these inverters, all these things we need to simulate on MATLAB so that before having actual design, so always it is suggestible to have the simulation model and try to do lots of simulations with various conditions and see that finally when we are going for design, so we have to make sure that in simulation with respect to all parameters our system is working. And this is a different type of the sockets, call it level 2 socket and the combo socket. These are all for the charging sockets actually. And this is CHAdeMO offboard DC chargers, onboard chargers, socket, etc. So this is Tesla plug adapters and charging plug. So these are all the EV1 coupler and vehicle inlet. So this is automotive EV chargers. So EV charger is another coming up opportunity in electric vehicles actually. So we need to have EV chargers so that at various places the charging stations are required. So there will be a lot of demand for these things in future. And we have various, this is ferromagnetic core shapes and these assembled magnetic devices. So these are all the power inductors actually, which are used in these electric vehicles, and different type of capacitors used in EVs, and the energy and carbon content of various fuels. So if you see the gasoline and if you see CO2 emission, so gasoline, diesel, gas, coal, etc. So you can see CO2 emissions. So per kilowatt hour is so 266 in given unit 268, but whereas hydrogen or lithium ion, so we are having zero emissions actually. So if you see the fuel consumption per kilometer per ton, so the helicopter is having the highest fuel consumption, whereas the cruise ship, truck, train, so these are all having little less, whereas the jet plane is having highest liter per kilometer per ton consumption. And this is the model, the electric propulsion system actually. So we have mechanical transmission as well as electric transmission. We have vehicle controller, energy management unit, then energy refueling unit, energy source, electronic power converter. Then this electronic power converter finally drive this motor, and we have auxiliary power supply and hotel climate control unit, power steering unit. So this is the uh, basic diagram of mechanical link, electrical link, and control link. Control the electric vehicle, and these are all the various type of coupling, series parallel, mechanical electrical coupling, complex, that is mechanical electrical coupling. We have both series as well as parallel, so electrical coupling and mechanical coupling in hybrid electric vehicles. So this is a configuration of series hybrid electric drivetrain system. So here you can see the generator. So we have rectifier DC-DC converter, then we have motor controller, a traction motor, then the battery. From battery it takes up the voltage, and from there we will have various controls. So we have fuel tank answer because it is hybrid electric vehicle. And coming to this electric propulsion system, we can use various type of machines, various type of softwares. So software is variable frequency, variable voltage, VV, control, or we have neural network and fuzzy control. So various type of control mechanisms we can use, and we can have various type of hardwares, microprocessor control, microcontrolled, DSP, transmitter, etc. You see, DSP is having the faster. If you take microprocessor and DSP, so generally DSP is 400-500 times faster than the microprocessor. So as per the requirement, as per the usage requirement, we have to choose these things. Then we have power converter, so we can use various devices, IGBTs, MOSFET, GTOs, MCTs, BJTs, or IGCT. Then topology, so we can use choppers, inverters, pulse width modulation control, resonant converters, etc. Then coming to the electric motor, the CAD, so FEM. Then coming to motor, just now we discussed we can use different type of motors, SRM motor, EMSM motors, and other motors actually. So different type of motors are there. We can use any type of motor as per the convenience, as per the requirement of our electric vehicle we can use. So these are all the various motors which are being used in electric vehicle and hybrid electric vehicle. So series shunt motors, then we have induction motor, DC motor, then synchronous motor, brushless motor, switched reluctance motor, and hybrid motors. So this is the basic methodology to generally we use triangular wave generator. We compare with reference sine wave generator. So with this we generate 6 pulses actually. So here you can see S1, S4. So that is for R leg, for top switch and bottom switch switching pulses. Similarly, S2, S3 and S6 for the second leg, you can say Y phase, and S3 and S2, S5 and S2, they are for the B phase for top switch and bottom switch. So basically, this is the PWM control. So using this control, we can controlling the both. Actually, if we can control frequency, we can control voltage, how much voltage is required. So with this, we can control the parameters of the motor, and with respect to that, we control the electric vehicle actually. So this is the basic PWM control of a given inverter actually. And we can have a vector control system for induction motor with a direct rotor flux orientation. So basically, this is with this diagram, you can almost control any electric vehicle or any uh, electrical circuit which is using the direct quadrature control. We have Park transformation, Clark transformation, and here you can see. So using this method, we can control inverters, we can control motors, we can use power plant devices. So here you can see. So basically, uh, the torque controller, speed controller being used. You can see the error is given, then we are able to control the inverter, and with this we can control the rotor flux calculator, then torque calculation, and we can control motor as per the requirement. So this is if you want to design a new product actually. So there are some of the steps we need to understand. So before you begin, then what is, what if, what was, and what works. So if you want to design any new things, so first thing is we need to identify the opportunity, then scope your project, draft your design brief, make your plans, do your research, identify insights, establish design criteria, brainstorm ideas. Brainstorm ideas means so you have some peers, friends, colleagues, and discuss with them, then develop concepts, then create some napkin pitches, then surface key assumptions, make prototypes, get feedback from stakeholders, run your learning launches, design on the RAM. So this is the basic theme how we can design some products actually. And there are so many different methods to test various design these things like what is, what if, what was, and what works. So visualization is a very important thing which covers the entire from starting to end of the lifespan of that particular device actually. So visualization. So visualization means we will visualize about the product actually. Then what is journey mapping, value chain analysis, mind mapping. So mind mapping is also very important. So with mind mapping, we'll understand what is the product, from why is there is a requirement of the product, who will be using this product, and all those things. Brainstorming. So brainstorming, in the brainstorming, we'll be having like whether to why we are actually producing this product, what are the, the quality things required, what are the checks required, etc. And concept development, then assumption testing, rapid prototyping. So if you want to make a product, so how to prototype it, and consumer co-creation, then learning launches. So these are all the different type of methods which we use when we are making a products. And this is a scamper model. So basically, if you want to innovate anything, so this is the method which we can use. So substitute. The scamper is like first word of substitute, combine, adapt, magnify, put to other use, eliminate, and re reverse or rearrange. So we are taking first word from these things, and we are making it as a scamper model. So this is one of the innovation technique actually. So if you want to develop a new product, develop a new things. So you have to use camper model. So substitute. So what might you use instead? What can be done instead? Who else? Can the rule be altered? Alternative materials, another place, other process, procedures, another approach. So can we substitute? Then combine. So you see our mobile phones now combined with many facilities now. So that is how it is becoming popular. So what methods can be combined? What procedures or tasks can be combined? What functions can be combined? What can be blended? What can be synthesized? What can be mixed? Can assortment fulfill the requirement? Similarly, adapt. What might be changed? What might be used in a different way? How can this be adopted to a different customer? What other ideas does this suggest? What else like this? What can be copied or produced? Who could be emulated? What different context can this concept be applied to? What ideas from other disciplines can be applied? Similarly, magnify, modify. Can the ideas or objects be scaled? What can be made larger and smaller, multiplied, changed? Can the form or shape is changed? Can sound be altered? Can scent be changed? Similarly, put to others, what else can be used for? Eliminate. What can be omitted? Can it be divided? Can it be separated? What can be trimmed? What can be what can we do without? Can it be streamlined? Can it be reduced losses? Can it be miniaturized? Can something be subtracted? Can something be deleted, removed? What is unnecessary? Similarly, reverse rearrange. What can be made opposite? What can be mirrored? What can be turned inside out? Can roles be reversed? What are the negatives? What can be restructured? So you see, there are about some 20-30 questions are there. If we use these questions when we are making a design of a product, so can we see most of them are like the stakeholder feedbacks. So if you apply these things, so definitely we can make our products more innovative, more user friendly. So this method is called Scamper actually. So one of our student group have done the go-kart type of vehicle, electric vehicle. So what we did is we imported the BLDC motor and with this fixing this, we have made a electric go-karting vehicle actually. So this we have developed in a one of the workshop where all this welding, everything is done by our student. And finally, this vehicle was able to run in our hilly terrain, the college actually. So this is designed by one of our student group. And we have already developed a charging station for even this vehicle. And this is our charging station for electric vehicle. And we have made a one-page poster actually, and it is displayed in our department. So those who are interested to make similar things, so some of the information is provided with respect to this project. And not only this, we have also developed one more prototype called dynamic voltage restorer. So this poster is also made available in our department. All girl students actually they developed a small electric vehicle. So started with this type of device. Then finally they made a scooter actually, and now they want to plan a startup actually. So this is the scooty they have developed, and you can see it is very compact and everything they did on their own actually. And in our college, so this three-wheeler also developed where the power is you can have the solar charging facility for these batteries. And we visited a nearby the three-wheeler company where electric, these are all the electric EV autos actually, electric autos. And so also we visited Pure Electric. So Pure Electric is now running in 100 crore plus business actually. So basically what they're doing is they're importing these BLDC motors and batteries either from China. Generally, all these things are coming from China only. They're assembling and they are doing some programming part to optimize the vehicle performance, and they have distribution ship. So through distributors, they are selling into the market. And this is actually Pure Electric started by one of IIT Hyderabad startup, and already they are into 100 crore rupees business. And so these are all the electric, some of the systems. This is a space vector, the PWM generation, that is pulse width modulation using National Instruments MyRio. MyRio stand for reconfigurable input output actually. So these are all the PWM patterns before giving to inverters actually. This is the deadband circuit which we developed, this deadband circuit for our inverter design. And these are all the various PWM generation schemes which we have developed for our dynamic voltage restorer. And we need to basically, in electric vehicle or any other application, we need to control the motor. So we have made a small controllers to demonstrate our students how they can control the speed of, let us say, induction motor. This induction motor, so using Arduino, we are controlling the speed of induction motor. You can see speed is 1100, 1200, 1300. So we can change. Similarly, we can change duty cycle, PWM frequency, and this is the single phase inverter actually. So this we developed in our institution. So we have isolation circuit, power circuit, converter circuit. So from the scratch we developed inverter, and where our students can understand how the inverter is working. So this is a single phase voltage source inverter with deadband circuit. So this is developed in our department laboratory. And also we can have filtration. So inverter will have a lot of harmonics. So we have designed our own filters so that finally the image D, you can see the purest form of sine wave, and different combination of LC filters we have used to get this thing. And this is the development of hardware circuit for three-phase voltage source inverter actually. So this is how we have generated three-phase inverter, and the output of three-phase inverter is fed to the three-phase induction motor, and the speed control and other controls of motor achieved by this inverter actually. And hardware design. So we have done hardware design for proposed dynamic voltage restorer. So these are all the design values of DVR. And we have done programming in both MATLAB as well as LabVIEW. And this is for SAG compensation. And this is the laboratory model of the DVR actually. So here you can see, so we are generating SAG and we are compensating SAG to voltage source inverter and series injection transfer. So this is the three-phase 250 kV inverter. So we imported this inverter from Germany actually through a project, DST project funding. And coming to this inverter. We can use these inverters to as a solar inverter, and we can pump electricity. We can electricity into the grid actually. So basically, we have abundant solar energy. So we can convert solar energy to electrical energy, and conversion variable DC to constant DC, then maximum power point tracking, variable frequency drive. We can use, for example, a farmer is there, so we can have the variable frequency drive in his field. So we can give a solar panel to him, and we can connect the solar panel to VFD drive, that is variable frequency drive. So when there is higher insolation, the VFD drive will rotate with more frequency actually, and more water will be pumped. When in the early morning or the late evening, when there is very less solar insolation, so motor will run with low speed and low water will be produced, but whatever, farmer will be getting water if we require, or he can generate power and pump into the system. So we have used a space vector, sorry, space vector PWM switching pattern, and we used 20 kilohertz switching frequency, developed novel control schemes for active reactive power generation, and used a stationary reference scheme, synchronously rotating frame transformations, phase lock loop, harmonic voltages, boost converters. So we use MPPT and design three-phase inverter and VFD. This is the circuit which we have designed for PV panels, DC-DC boost, DC-AC PWM voltage source inverter, then filtration circuit, then we pump power to the grid. And the controls, we have VDC control, grid synchronization, current control, MPPT control, then anti-aliasing, then grid PV plant monitoring, then active filter control, microgrid control, grid support. So this is the generic control structure for PV inverter with boost stage actually. And this is the block diagram of how we generally generate electricity from solar panel and how we pump the power into the grid. And we have a lot of scope with respect to India, and we are focusing more on renewable energy sources. So now increase in installations coming in both solar and wind. Then grid following inverter is beneficial to the consumer. So now in few days, you see, now in each apartment or each domestic house, so we can install the power plant and solar power plant. You can utilize power. For example, in our college, we have 413 kilowatt peak power being produced, and so previously our bill used to be 6 lakh rupees. Now it has come down to 2 lakh rupees. So that means every month we are saving 4 lakh rupees with respect to solar power. For example, if Sunday we are not working, so Sunday we pump this power into the grid, and those many units which we pump into the grid, so those many units will be deducted from our energy bill actually. So in both ways it is very useful. And we have developed 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt GTIs, that is grid tied inverters. And so try to make product out of the research work. So we should able to solve the power problem, and we need to share our research in the community, conferences, journals, etc. And try to apply projects, try to get fundings, fine tune your proposal, So this is the device which we developed with respect to analogic, one of the company in Hyderabad actually. So this is the solar pump. It is IP65 enclosure, means 365 days under any condition this can be kept outside in a field. And so this is the technology details actually, block diagram of a system. Sorry. So this is the inverter actually. How so inverter, whenever we are using the VFD drive, so farmer can use solar power to pump water in his field. Whenever he is not using, he can pump power to the grid actually. So this is 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt inverters we have developed with respect to logic. You can see the diagram. So this is the inverter actually. So these are all the design features and advantages. So advantages reduce power generation, transmission, distribution, infrastructure cost, generation and load point will reduce transmission and distribution losses. And so we have created another, we call it lifeline. So solar grid tied inverter plus solar water pump controller. So both included, we have made it one device called lifeline. So these are all the day by day net additions coming up in the renewable energy sources. So these are all the advantages: reducing the cost during power conversion stage, improving the reliability of the converters in use, reducing the harmonic with respect to output, reducing the number of switches, ensuring continuity in supply, providing backup power for PVs, controlling the real reactive power, maintaining constant direct current, and detecting the maximum power point PV panel using maximum power point tracking techniques. So these are all the popular ancillary services in electric power market suggested by FERC. So this is the services provided by PV system. So compensation of reactive power. For example, solar grid-tied inverter is there. In daytime, when we are getting power from the sun, we can convert this power and we can pump this power to the grid. In the night time, when there is no sun, so same inverter we can use to compensate capacitive reactive power in the night time actually. So like that, we can use this inverter in a different ways, and these are all the, like we can have improved power quality, then control voltage limitations, then islanding operation, block stack capability, etc. So the classification of multi-level inverters. So whenever there is a requirement for higher voltages, higher power, higher current, then we go for multi-level inverters. So this is multi-level CSI topology, that is current source inverter topology. And this is the traditional two-level inverter with respect to multi-level inverter. Multi-level inverter will have less harmonics, whereas the two-level inverter will have more harmonics. Switching losses high in two-level inverter, low in multi-level inverter, etc. And this is with respect to the advantages, disadvantages of diode clamped flying capacitor, cascaded multi-level inverters. And this is the generic structure of PV inverter grid structure actually. So how we are able to pump power into the grid. So what are the various components? So in this picture you can see. and PV grid inverter configuration. So small scale is 350 watts or less, medium is 10 kilowatt, large is 850 kilowatt. So what are the pros and cons is defined in this thing. Then how to synchronize three-phase voltage source converter into the grid. There are many. You see, if you have solar power and if you want to pump power into the grid, so we need to maintain voltage levels. We need to maintain the frequency and all other things. So sometimes if we do not match the grid will throw away the inverter from the synchronization. So it is we need to design the synchronization very carefully, and these are the various methods for the synchronization. And these are all the different computational intelligence techniques, artificial intelligence, and other techniques actually, fuzzy logic, etc. And optimization technique, stochastic optimization, etc. we can use, and heuristic optimization, and the different solar water pumps are available. So we have compared, these are all the solar pump controller installation at the site, and inverter. So this is the solar inverter which were developed with analogic actually. Then at different sites, how we actually, these type of things, semi-dual axis structure. So one of the dual axis 3 kilowatt solar power plant grid tied is also installed at GR80. And these are all the various AC loads for AC machines. So we have DC to AC, then voltage fed pulse with modulated inverters, then current fed pulse with modulated inverters, high frequency link DC to AC converters, then choppers, AC phase controllers, then supply commuted silo converters. So these are all the various alternate devices, direct current link, AC to AC converters, etc. And choppers, buck boost converters, rectifiers. Then this is the structure of a drive system. So electromechanical energy converter, motional mechanism, switching power electronic converters. So these are all the various converters. These are all the various inverters actually, different inverters. So we need to have hands-on mastery of these inverters. Then only we can design electric vehicles actually. What type of inverters, what type of rectification, all these things. So these are all the converter topologies for minimum component. 4-switch voltage for inverter for 3-phase load. And these are all the PWM pattern actually. So different PWM patterns, modulations. And this is a 3-phase voltage source inverter. So this is the one of the majority PSI used in electric vehicles. So these are all the main components of various types of variable speed drive, PWM voltage source. So how we are driving induction motor. So this is the speed torque characteristics. So electric vehicle will have, so immediately you can pick up torque as well as speed actually. And space vector. So if you take solar gridded inverter, or you take dynamic voltage restorer, or you take electric vehicle. So these inverters require space vector PWM generation. So in this, we have explained what is space vector actually. So this is the space vector. So basically, so we have total 6 sectors. Okay, so we need to control the vector in this 6 sector actually. So this is the switching states, different switching states, and the timing diagrams. This is called timing diagram. And we have generated the PWM signals with respect to space vector modulation. So this is generated in MATLAB, and you can see pure sine wave after filtration, after filter. So we can generate pure sine wave. So from DC battery to pure sine wave we have generated. Now you want to control induction motor, torque speed control. So we can control with this sine wave. And these are all the various topologies of voltage source inverter, different topologies. And these are all the various mathematical equations. And block diagram for adjustable speed drive actually. Similarly, block diagram of a voltage source inverter control circuit, the microprocessor, deadband, isolation circuit. So this is the NI MyRio. So the National Instruments MyRio reconfigurable input output. So then we have designed the deadband circuit. So we could get 6 microsecond deadband actually in our lab. Then optocouplers used for isolation, and we have developed a single phase HBT inverter. So these are all the outputs of this space vector, sine wave, triangular wave, pulse width modulation generation actually. And so this is the reference frame voltage, synchronous reference frame, and PWM signal generation. This is the deadband circuit which we have generated, and this is PWM with deadband. So basically, what happens? We have positive in any phase R, Y, B, any phase. We have positive leg and negative leg. So, for example, the positive leg is on and negative leg is off. For example, and after some time, the positive leg will become off and negative leg become on. So as we give the data through either computer or through some electronic signals, so at same time both leg can be both positive, negative leg can be on. If it is on, then system will become dead short circuit and it will be actually blasted actually. So to avoid that, we need to have deadband between the positive and negative switches actually. So this is very important. So this we have achieved in our lab. So similarly, we have done simulation of three-phase system. Then this is the our R&D lab, so where we have actually imported a three-phase inverter as well as rectifier. This is all 250 kVA capacity actually imported from Germany. So this is the experimental study of VSI. These are all the various duty cycle compensation. And we also train our students to start with a simple induction motor and how they can make an inverter and control through a Arduino actually. And this is experimental study of single phase full bridge inverter. This is three-phase inverter. And these are all the laboratory experimentation. So these facilities are available in electrical department at GR80. Then we have developed a dynamic voltage restorer, and this is the control diagram of control circuit diagram of dynamic voltage restorer. And this is we have developed in lab view, and this is the prototype of this voltage sag compensation using dynamic voltage restorer. So we have designed the filters also for this particular device. And here you can see, so whenever there is a sag in the system, so inverter will generate the missing voltage, and finally at the sensitive load, you will not see any voltage sag actually, pure sine you can see. So that is what called dynamic voltage restorer and voltage sag compensation. So 80% of the voltage sag, 70, 60, 50%, all these things we could compensate. And we can also make the inverter to work as a STATCOM. So that also we have demonstrated. In the daytime, Gridded inverter will pump power into the system. In the night time, it can work as a STATCOM. It can generate capacitive reactive power and can pump into the system. So this is the plug-in electric vehicle, so basic block diagram. So we have onboard chargers for different charging facilities, level 3, level 1, level 2. So there is various like difference in like 120 volts AC, another is 240 volt AC, and third one is AC to DC, different type of charging stations. Then this is the different control of the plug-in electric vehicle, PE we call it. So environmental impact. So these are all the factor affecting energy consumption, CO2 emission, and the possible power conversion extraction methods, EV systems. So we have multi-stage power conversion, single stage power conversion, etc. And how to calculate the requirement of the battery power, how much. So we can have a simple formula like this and we can calculate. And you can see the one of our laboratory, the EV power converter. So a miniaturized EV power converter is created. It's less than half of a pencil size actually. So the power is 1 kilowatt. And the comparison of HEV design features and published in specifications. So these are all the specifications. Then the circuit diagram of previous model. So motor, inverter, generator, inverter, and some of the values are given. In this, you can see the power rating. So 36 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt, 27 kilowatt. So hybrid Camry, Prius, etc. And battery SC, HESS topologies. These are all some advanced technologies actually. And solar integration. So we can integrate, we can charge this battery using solar power. We can have ultra capacitors also, bidirectional DC-DC converter, low frequency current control, etc. And also we need to work on battery management system, battery technologies. So this is a different type of batteries which we are using and different type of structure of electric vehicles. Then a lot of research is on lithium-ion batteries and manufacture of lithium-ion batteries for a vehicle application. So you see, this material is available in South Korea, Japan, China, etc. So this is some more actually how it works. Then charging, discharging characteristics of lithium-ion battery. Then lithium cobalt battery performance. So these are all the various batteries, how those things will perform. So comparison between nickel cadmium, NaMH, zinc bromine, and other batteries actually. So this is gravimetric and volumetric energy density of various battery types. Operating voltage profile of all lithium electrode materials and performance comparison lithium ion batteries. So comparison among lithium ion battery, then overview of battery management system. See, basically when we are controlling electric vehicle, so battery means it is not a single battery. There are some series and parallel combination of small batteries will be there, and we need to see that this battery, each battery should not drain. So we need to see that it should have long life. So we need to see each battery cell monitoring, input, output, current and voltage monitoring, charge and discharge control, state of emission, battery protection, cell balancing, equalization, power management control, operating temperature control, heat management, communication, networking, data storage, data acquisition, fault diagnosis, assessment, etc. And safety problems of lithium-ion batteries. So we need to be careful when you are using these batteries actually. So protection, monitoring, and charge equalization. And lithium-ion, other common batteries, variation with respect to temperature. The evaluation of strength of charge for battery cell protection and life cycle and temperature. Life cycle means how many times you can charge and discharge a given battery. So cost and production of lithium-ion battery pack. So this is with respect to the research which we are doing with respect to electric vehicles, batteries, and DVR, inverters, etc. So we have published a lot of papers. I think that's all from my side. So if any questions are there, I'll be there to answer. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Padma madam.
Sir. Sir, thank you so much, sir, for giving great insights into the things or the aspects of electric innovations that is been happening in Gokaraj Rangaraj Engineering College. Its practical aspects and lot of valuable information has been shared and ideas also shared for the startup or for any innovation related to electrical vehicles, etc. So any of the participants open for discussion, please? Any participants want to have a discussion or any query related to any startup related to the practical aspects of electrical vehicles? Please unmute yourself and you can feel free to ask any question. Any participant? Are you interested to ask any query? Or please post in chat box. Right. If no questions, we thank you so much, sir, for your able guidance and a lot of knowledge has been shared in these electrical vehicle designing aspects. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. So I request all the participants to join back after 10 minutes with a short break of 10 minutes. We'll start with another session on entrepreneurship, importance and needs. Please by 2:20 rejoin again in the same link. Thank you to all the participants, and all the participants be active for the interactive sessions and as well as the polls and giving the feedback which is a requirement for taking an attendance point of view, and as well as the feedback for all the sessions is mandatory, as we all said from the starting onwards. So 90% of attendance as well as feedback is a mandatory to get a DST certificate. Thank you so much. We'll join by 2:20. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Hello, Venkat Suresh, sir. Am I audible?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon. You are perfectly all right.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
I think, ma'am. Good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We can start in 5-10 minutes. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just we'll give just 2 minutes, sir, to start the session.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Padma, Organizing Chair, requesting Mr. Venkat Suresh Telugaru, Head Incubation Operations from Workson University, Hyderabad. Sir is a dynamic professional working with the startups, incubators, and funding schemes for more than 6 years. Sir holds a specialization in entrepreneurship from Wharton University, University of Pennsylvania, and graduation in mechanical engineering from JNTU Kakinada. Sir has played a phenomenal role as a member secretary of a 27-member task force committee for bringing out the white paper, policy paper for mainstreaming millets in India, launched by Shri Amitabh Kant, former CEO of Niti Aayog, Government of India, for fueling millet revolution in the India. Sir is also a certified entrepreneurship coach by the Wharton School and financial analyst by IIT Guwahati. He has delivered guest sessions on entrepreneurship, funding raising, leadership, and marketing strategies at various engineering and management colleges in AP and Telangana. Sir, over to you, sir. Can continue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. I think my voice is clear.
Yes, sir. You're clear, sir.
So, can you know how many participants and who are there participating today?
Sir, participants from various engineering colleges, faculty. So right now there are 27 participants as joined. They will be joining shortly, sir. Can start the session, sir.
Okay, madam. So, can please let me start the presentation.
Yes, sir. You can start sharing. You are a co-host.
Is my screen visible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome to my session. That is entrepreneurship, importance, and the opportunities. So I would like to give very brief explanation about my experience with the startups. So as Madam told that I am associated with various technology business incubation centers and various government funding schemes. So throughout my journey, that is 3 years as a founding member of one startup company, also as another 3 years as a startup incubation professional. I gone through this life cycle of a startup founder that they actually go. So throughout this journey, I understand that funding is one big thing, and another thing is the mentoring. So to address all these aspects, the various government ministries are coming up with various initiatives like seed funding, innovation grants, incubation hubs, etc. So today my presentation will be covering all the ecosystem that can help build a startup ecosystem in your campus itself also. So my session is power pack session on entrepreneurship and support mechanisms. I hope you will be able to gain knowledge on 8 to 9 different government schemes that can help any student, right from a small idea or even a big tech product. Anything can be supported. Unlike the old days, uh, we don't need a lot of technical expertise, lot of proof that our product is working, and also a lot of proofs that our product can generate revenue. We don't need all those things these days because even governments understand the uncertainty of an entrepreneur. So it's not like that you should deliver a breakthrough product, you should deliver a highly profitable product, because even we don't know. We, like a research project, we create a hypothesis. We found a challenge and we think a solution uh, from our boundaries of knowledge and expertise can solve that. So to test that, there are government schemes. So even it's like your family member, the government schemes are there to give you some bandwidth within which you can try, fail, again try, and you can bring a good product out of all your hard work. So here I could see there are a lot of scholars, academicians, and very rich experienced faculty who are good at various technical domains and management studies. So I hope my session will be giving useful references so that you can start thinking in this direction and build some good network and help some potential students. So as far as I know, delivering this kind of session to faculty members is useful in two different dimensions. One is helping your students to convert their ideas and start their venture when they are in campus. The other thing is the faculty itself can become an entrepreneur because they have rich knowledge on various technologies that is visible through their research publications and patents, designs, etc. So either way, this session can give you some useful references. So the my topics that I'm going to cover is I want to give you a glance view at the Indian startup ecosystem so that you will know how at what speed the India is moving in this direction. And I want to give you why entrepreneurship now. There are two aspects. Why to promote entrepreneurship within campus? What is the benefit for campus? And the other thing is what is the benefit that a student can get? And you know that there are traditional benefits. There no need to go for job search or then you need to work on their different courses and attending different interviews, all those things. But obviously, there are more benefits than that. So I will be discussing that. Then I will be giving a brief overview on the growth cycle, life cycle of a startup, and various types of fundings which require at different stages. And I will be giving an exclusive overview on various stakeholders present in this domain so that it will help you network with the right people and build strong resources for your college. And I will be discussing few success stories along with various funding mechanisms. In this topic, I will be covering around 8 different government schemes. So coming to glance at the Indian startup ecosystem, you might be hearing a lot of news that so-and-so startup got 100 million funding, another startup got so-and-so award, like that. Because there are many initiatives are happening in India. If you look at India 10 years back, there were not much buzz about startups. But today, there are separate exclusive news channels for discussing the startup. There is one website that is a Tracks XN, which only gives the data analytics on the startups of India. That's it. So there are news channels like mystory.com, which only publishes the startup success stories, news about investments, mergers, acquisitions, etc. And there is exclusive My Startup TV, which only podcasts and publishes the interviews with founders. So even there are a lot more startups around the startups. So you can see the traction that startups are picking in our India. So apart from that, I would like to give you the facts also. So the India is the third largest ecosystem for startups because of its rapid growth in number of startups. If you can see today we have 99,000 plus startups registered. That means who got the DPIIT certification. But there are a lot more startups who haven't registered a private limited or LLP so that they don't have DPIIT. But there are a lot more startups who are still working on the concept, prototype, testing stages. They are yet to register. So I'm sure that there will be 1.5 lakh startups in India. So you can see the rate of growth. There were only 733 startups in 2016, but today I'm telling 99,000 registered startups are there. So also you can see 75% of the startups are founded by people less than 35 years. That is a strong sign that youth are taking up the entrepreneurship path and rather than looking for the employment alone. So I personally witnessed a lot of students from IIRA College, BVRIT, Mallareddy College, who have received funding from our office. So like that, of course, there are very elderly people also who retired from Indian Army and BHEL like that. They started their enterprises. Even after 60s, they are starting. So there is no age barrier as Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania told. There is no age barrier. There is no gender barrier. There is no education barrier also. Because I witnessed a woman entrepreneur who is making RFID tags for the various food products and other products, but she only studied 7th class. She is almost 70 years now. She is making around 15 crore turnover every year. It's a near JNT, it's only. So like that, there is no barriers for entrepreneurship. That is the grace of this thing. And if you see 670 districts out of India have at least one registered startup. That means uh, entrepreneurship is not limited to tier 1 cities, but tier 2, tier 3, even villages registering their uh, maybe startups or potential NGO units. So India saw a record of 65 startups turning into unicorns in 2021 and 22. So if you see, India has around 108 startups present currently with around 340 plus $1 billion valuation. So unicorn means the startup whose valuation grow beyond $1 billion. That means around more than 8,000 crore valuation. That's not a small number. So Delhi, Bangalore, and Noida, all these are the emerging startup areas, and our Hyderabad is definitely the top 5 as Startup India ranked them. And you can witness that IT sector, health tech, edutech, agri-tech, majorly the fintech, and food and beverages are the booming sectors. Also, there is one more thing that India has a diverse startup profile, having startups from 56 sectors. It means there is a lot of divergence in the people and their needs. So you can see, unlike other countries, we have dominant population of youth and middle-aged people, but we are not having very limited number of old people. Our distribution is very uniform with a slight domination of the youth and middle age. So that's why this diversification in the utilities can happen. You can check the reference links that I'm giving you. And here I'm bringing one more aspect that India is building around 1 unicorn out of every 10 unicorns coming globally. That means we are contributing around 10% of the high-rated startups. And you can see that this is the incubators. You must be knowing that there are startup incubation centers which can nurture the startups. So especially countries like developing countries like India needs incubation centers, because we all know that there is lot of illiteracy and there is um, lot of gaps in our education system. Because by default, our students are not getting enough skills on tools, concepts, and various things about market. That's why we need an incubator system which can shape the students' mindset, also give them enough tools so that they can convert their idea towards a sustainable entity. That's why many ministries from Indian government are pushing the incubation centers. If you take the DST, Department of Science and Technology, establishing technology business incubation centers. Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog is establishing Atal Incubation Centers. Similarly, we have the BioRack from the Biotechnology Department. We have MSME host institutes and incubation centers. Like that, we have many other ministries, like Ministry of Textile is also putting up some incubation centers. Ministry of Food Processing Industries is also supporting the food processing incubation hubs along with the processing machinery. We have agri-business incubation centers like that. There are many ministries who are working on the incubation model itself, because looking at our education and skills profile, we need the incubation hubs. You can see that the number of people turning into investment is also rapidly increasing. That is almost 900 times than 2015. That means India is growing towards a business place where the domestic people as well as the foreign people are gaining interest in investing in India. So you can see that India is the third largest startup ecosystem, and there are 99,000 startups, as you know. With this all figures, you could sensitize that our startup ecosystem is growing very well, and this is a future career prospect for many people. Possibly the academicians can play a good role in executing this incubation platforms, and many universities, from premier schools like IITs, KL University, everywhere they are hosting the startup incubation hubs headed by faculty only. So here I would like to give you why the entrepreneurship now at the campus level, because you need to motivate the students also. So we need to give enough value to them, because they'll be spending a lot of money on education. They may close this entrepreneurship door for some time, but why to close this door when there are opportunities, when there is a supportive system? Because even the father of our students may not believe and give 1 lakh rupee for establishing his own startup. But Indian government is giving minimum 4 lakh rupees as a grant. Even some ministries is giving 10 lakh rupees as a grant. So when there is a supportive system who believes in the uncertainty, who expect you to fail or bring some good product, they are looking at both possibilities. So they are not asking to put any collateral or security. Their only thing they are asking the full-time commitment and also few commitment in terms of delivery. Even if sometimes the technological uh, capabilities or something may not work in field, but they cannot ask a student to repay money or they have to give the technology at any cost, nothing like that. Because I executed several MOUs with the founders. It's not such an exclusive or binding agreements. But of course, the commitment for time, commitment for bringing a solution is required. So here I would like to give you few inputs that you can use to motivate the students that entrepreneurship uh, experience will give the immersive experience so that they can master the skills. So I saw a student from ECE background. Uh, maybe as a student, he knows very basics of the tools, various platforms. But when he needs to develop a product, because government gave 4 lakhs, he needs to deliver a design. He needs to deliver a PCB. He needs to manufacture the machine also. Then he is applying the technology. He is exploring many more subjects because apart from PCB design, he needs to look at the material science also because he was targeting to bring a paper, eco-friendly paper out of the crop waste. So he became not only an electronic engineer, but he became a material science expert also by the end of 1 year. He knows what is viscosity, how to handle viscosity for getting consistent flow and required output with required hardness and all. So he's exploring many other domains. That's what any company also looks while hiring. Because why I'm telling is the only core knowledge in one particular domain can make him good professional. But the diversified knowledge in many areas will make him the leader. So both are possible in the job environment only. One student, merit student may end up as a professional, but other merit student with diversified knowledge on finance, marketing, communications, negotiations, all this, he can become the leader also. So this first point can be a very powerful thing. And another thing is, of course, graduating from the college, getting into one company is already the path they know. But what is the wrong if they can explore the second path? Maybe if they can start laying a second path brick by brick without any much investment. That is what I'm trying to convey here. They can convert an idea and start building a future path while in the campus itself. So because the students came in the third year to our incubation centers, by the end of 4 years, they will have 4 lakh rupee grant and the product in hand. That's why they even giving up the opportunities from big MNC companies. So one of the student I know, he gave up the opportunity from Indian Air Force because his product is already validated by the end of 4th year. For validation, funding was from the government itself. No need to ask from parents. So another thing is, uh, maybe the product can be failure or successful, but he can build lot of credentials during this journey. What are the credentials? Maybe he will pitch a product to various incubation centers. One incubation center may offer the funding. It's a fellowship. From the scheme perspective, it is a fellowship given to a student. So you can, I think you can believe this now. Student is even encouraged to explore. Maybe sometimes they fail or they succeed in the pursuit, but they can avail this opportunity. That's why scheme is naming as the fellowship from some so-and-so DST, fellowship from RK, even the MIT, Ministry of Electronics and IT grants. So this fellowship is one credential. Even the universities from foreign countries also will value while admissions, right? So maybe after giving a fellowship, he will work with big mentors. So that is also one credential. He will participate in various challenges, hackathons, and like that. So during that, he may be a winner or a runner-up or a finalist. So that is also one credential. All these credentials will bring a value to his profile. And the second thing is start building a professional network of experts, investors, government officials, and politicians. Because network is the powerful thing. In the philosophy of execution, they tell storytelling is the one first thing, and the networking is the second strength of any executor. So this networking can help him find better funding, better employment opportunities, everything that is possible. So because I seen the people who are building their value through the network itself, because we made a product of our student launched by the Ministry of Miss Savita Indra Reddy Madam, who is the Minister of Higher Education. So because of that credential and network strength, he could get another 20 lakh rupee grant from the HDFC Bank initiative. Because these credentials will help as a block stepping blocks, right? That's how this networking is helping. And the another next thing is venturing at attempts can add value to profile, so that this person will not end up as a system administrator or something, but he can get into the good top level or middle level management directly. Because even the MNCs and giant companies look for this kind of strengths in the profile. So reduce the chances of cash burn through structured mentoring programs. We can witness some cases like maybe college may not be encouraging entrepreneurship, but still 2 or 3 people will start their own business after graduating from the college. So obviously they will be spending 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs or 20 lakhs, but uncertainty is everywhere. They may burn 10 lakhs also. But when they start this kind of efforts when they are in college, the cash burn can be reduced almost. There is zero investment from the family because government is ready to invest and leverage the strengths of incubation centers. Strengths means here the incubation centers have good office facilities which we can use, and they have strong networks of mentors, service providers, and all. They have uh, frequent presence of various prominent IAS and political people. So all these strengths can be leveraged and added to our startup company or our profile. So next thing is build, launch, test, fail, and launch. Because in the traditional education system, no guru wants his students to fail. But in the startup zone, gurus or mentors wants his students to fail fast, so that they can learn fast and they can go hit the market very fast. Because even the mentors know that whatever assumptions we are taking are not accurate. There is a lot of uncertainty because every product is different. Every product's customer is different. So how can we ensure 100% success? That's why here we encourage them to fail fast and relaunch. So they can experience these hard moments when they are in campus itself. And the other thing is access the funding opportunities from various government and private players. So as I told you that there are a lot of ministries that I will be discussing. So when there are ministries helping with grant funding, which no need to pay. So why don't a student risk some time? All they need to put is risking some time and learning new things. That's it. So this is the importance that an institute has to give, because Indian government is putting a separate budget for startup funding. The Startup India Seed Fund alone allocated 285 crore for this financial year. The other thing is fostering the culture of entrepreneurship within the campus, which gives a lot of positive environment. Also, it gives uh, very good branding for the organizations, because not all the institutes gain branding because of the good scores, but the good alumni. So this alumni can be from top management people in the Microsoft or Google, or the individual entrepreneurs who are just roaming and buzzing around the state and country. So this fostering the culture of entrepreneurship is must, because we have the lot of knowledge within our campus, because we know that our faculty member have lot of innovative ideas, because when they go through the textbooks, it is obvious that there will be many ideas that will coming to our mind. Those are the source for their research projects and all. So when they can do research projects, why can't they launch a venture? So similarly, this can help both faculty and students, and leading the inclusive development in tier 2, 3 and villages, because we are the technology people. We need to handhold the people behind us. So it is not possible through going and spending our time. It is not even valuable for the faculty and students. But if your product can serve the rural and tier 2 and tier 3, it is the biggest impact we can deliver. And promoting the knowledge transfer, because many of the good colleges might have some patents or publication research uh, information which can be transferred to the industry at some nominal fees or free of cost, so that you can become a helping hand of the industry. So all these this will improve your industry collaboration, so which will reflect in your rankings, which will reflect in your internship placements and all. So next thing is the improved alumni engagement and valuable networking. So many colleges miss leveraging on the alumni, because maybe they will be get busy, but college needs to call them all the entrepreneurs back, students back. The college should create a platform where alumni can share their experience and their insights to the fresh students. So this will happen through this entrepreneurial gatherings and events. So uh, the passed out students also will come and contribute to this uh, college. Next thing is, that NIRF is ranking colleges on innovation category also. Till now, we have only management engineering categories, but now we have the innovation category also. So when we create a lot of activities and startups, there is a chance that our ranking can be better, and better brand image and visibility. Obviously, the startups are one powerful thing that college can get good branding visibility. And the next thing is, when we do the small initiatives in the entrepreneurship domain, obviously gain a good credential. We'll get the 5 crore or 10 crore rupee funding from the DST or Atal Incubation Center to set up a hub itself. Because I uh, I spoke to RVR and JC College Guntur. They got the ITBI, that means 5 crore rupee funding, because they might have encouraged the student innovation at small level. With the track record, they could get 5 crore rupee. So next thing is increased association with the industry, which will leads to good placements and internships. That is what beneficial for the academic domain. Now I would come to the core topic. So till now we discussed the importance entrepreneurship also. But let me give you a small understanding that what is an enterprise, what is entrepreneurship, and what is a startup. So it is evident from textbooks and literature that enterprise is any organization which is into economic activity, so that it will gain some profits while delivering the service or products to the people. That is what an enterprise. That means enterprise is an established organization, because even Startup India will categorize startups as turnover not exceeding 100 crore. That means when the startup is having a certain turnover, certain age, they are already established in the industry. They have a lot of understanding and they have continuous transactions with the industry. That's why they are the enterprise. But what is an entrepreneur? The entrepreneur is the person who is skillful at building and growing the enterprises. That's what an entrepreneur. But we call entrepreneur, we call every startup founder and every innovator as an entrepreneur. But it's not correct, because here is the definition. Startup is only a process of exploring the efficient solutions and repeatable and scalable business models for catering the social need. That means it is not the full-fledged business activity, but it is very novel process. It is very novel and very critical process of exploring a good fit with the customers and exploring a repeatable and scalable model, because these three keywords are very important. If I want to go on the samosa bandi, I cannot be a startup founder. It cannot be called as a startup also, because you know the reason. It is a self-employment or livelihood. It's not a startup. Why? Because I am differentiating here. There is no repeatability and scalability, because there is a startup already who is making 100 crore revenue. They are also making samosa, but that is a scalable model. So repeatability means repeating the same activity in different zones, different cities. And scalability, instead of going for a small 3 by 3 meter room, establishing a mall also should be a possible. That is the scalability. And repeatability, establishing this kind of bigger malls across the India, across the geographies, is what scalability. When an idea, uh, when an idea possesses this repeatability and scalability, it can be a startup. Of course, it should be in the stage of exploring these models. It's not just conceptualizing. They should explore. For exploring, they have to first build up their understanding. They have to do the market surveys and all. They have to raise the pre-seed funding. They have to put the seed funding, market validation. All these things has to happen. In this process, we call it a startup. Once they achieve consistent revenue, then 100 crore, even Startup India won't call it as a startup, because they are already established. So to understand this more in the more functional and conceptual way, there is the wide model proposed by University of Pennsylvania. So the wide model, here V stands for value. So for any entrepreneur or an enterprise, there should be some value which he can give to the people. Otherwise, there is no existence of this enterprise in the long term. So value is the outcome. So this value is a function of I and D. So I for idea. So this idea should be very innovative and unique. D is the development. Development means with what kind of commitment, with what kind of quality you are implementing this innovation, so that it can deliver the value. So for a startup, it is clear. When there is a good idea and a good implementation, it is the startup journey. But to become an enterprise, they have to cross a line. To cross this line, they have to deal with E factor, that is exogenous factors. These exogenous factors can be anything like economic, political, even the social, religious, some unexpected things like COVID anything can be an exogenous factor. Only the enterprises will be able to combat all these things in the long term. So this is the small thing. Startup is an exploration of a repeatable and scalable business model. And enterprise is the established unit which has a continuous transactions with the industry. So this is the wide model which I would like you to remember. And this blue color definition can be valuable in understanding what is an exactly a startup is. So here I would like to give a very small brief understanding about this startup stages. First thing is, let me arrange my screen. So here, maybe a student comes with an idea. So that is very basic level, that is TRL1. Okay, so technological readiness level 1. At this idea, they might have only one single line to tell you, not more than that, or another couple of lines. But even they don't have the exact knowledge, data about customers, data about their business strategy, data about marketing, all those things. So that can be hardly 3-4 lines what they have. This idea should be elaborated. For elaboration, you know that there is a process of research. Research about customer, research about needs, research about their features, all these things. So after this process, this idea should be validated. The idea can be validated in many ways. For example, idea should be validated by our internal process. That is one thing. But idea should be validated by the external things also. We should present this idea to few experts and we should take their opinion. And second thing is we should participate in some ideathons or challenges. And when we gain real feedback or accomplishments, it will act as a validation for you. That's why many venture capital firms put a small clause like they should be funded by some other small VC or banker or angel investor. Because if someone already validated, it is easy for these people to believe. So if somebody is coming up with very fresh profile, it is very hard to take that risky decision. So this idea should be validated by many external people also, external experts, challenges, organizations like that. So during this, mostly funding is from self-funding because students will be able to spend 2,000, 3,000 or 5,000 to develop their idea and participate somewhere. So this self-funding can happen. Apart from this, there are fellowships from the Ministry of Electronics and IT, DST, RKV, Department of Biotechnology, like that. So these fellowships, mainly they will believe in the student idea itself. They will not ask any proof of concept or anything like that. In fact, they don't even look for a very professional pitch deck also. But a certain information is required. But they don't expect much clarity because this fellowship is for developing the concept itself. By the end of this 4 lakh, they are just required to deliver the full-fledged concept with small proof of concept. That's it. So this government fellowships can help. And the second stage is the seed funding stage. So here we need a seed funding to build a full-fledged product, or if the product is already available, we should launch into the market to test the product market fit, because this is the fire test for any product, because any product should find a fit with the market. So during this stage, we will call it as a valley of death. For example, if all our innovations gone into the our efforts gone into this innovation might not find a fit, then we should be in a position to rework on the product and relaunch. But if we exhaust everything, we'll definitely fall in this valley of death. But this valley of death is inevitable for everything thing is we need to face it very strategically. We should not exhaust ourselves in terms of funding, motivation, everything. We should keep up some resources with us. Then only we can rework on the product and market fit. Then we can keep up our work. So for this stage also we have schemes. For example, the famous scheme, that is the Startup India Seed Fund scheme. This scheme itself having two funds, that is grant funding and debt funding. Because grant is required for this value of death people. Because even government don't expect them to pay back. You all need to remember one thing. When government is offering grant instead of loan, that means government is already having enough idea and understanding that you may fail. You may not be able to pay back your funding. If they have strong confidence on you, they will only give you loan. Why they are giving grant? Because there is a chance that you will fail. That in that time, government should not ask the fund back. That's why very early stage people, concept stage, prototype stage, people will be given the grant from government side. So we have the various schemes on this. Here the angel investment also can happen, mostly from the friends, family, relatives, like this. So at the end of the seed stage funding, we may see little revenue also. So for example, I seen a founder who is the ISB graduate, and he's building a good product, mental health product. So he started making revenue from 200 rupees. Now he is making a lot more revenue in lakhs. But his initial revenue is 200, 300 from one client, 3, 4 clients like that. So this can happen. But this revenue cannot match the expenses. That is the thing. And the next stage, when we find the product market fit in terms of data or in terms of confidence, when we go for the aggressive production and market push. So during this stage, we need a lot of marketing, networking, exhibitions, all these activities are required for founders. Also, this stage is very critical. Why? Because when you go for a private funding, only they will look at this stage. In the last 12 months, how much revenue you have made. Maybe you might have spent 3 years before that. They don't matter. But you should not spend more time in this early stage growth. You should not depend or just limited to 1 lakh rupee revenue and stay comfortable for 3, 4 years. Then the startup is gone out of industry. They see the quarterly growth rate in this stage. So here there are government schemes from ministries. For example, the Minister of Electronics and Idea, IT is giving fellowship for the idea stage people. But the same ministry is giving 35 lakh rupee for the scale up activities. So if the startup is already having product MVP, we call it, a very much ready product. So this product can be given 35 lakh rupee so that they can replicate this product in 100 or 1000 quantities, and they can do enough marketing so that they will get another 1 crore rupee as a revenue into their account. So this kind of early stage growth fundings are also available. That is the grace of our ministers actually. So, but once this gray stage is crossed, then you will be into the private equity market. There is no scheme which can give you funding beyond that stage because you are already having luxury revenue to pay your employees, to hire office space, everything. So then obviously you will have to hit the private people for offering some equity. Okay. So, but even there are ministries who are creating a platform. So they are not directly giving funding, but they are creating a pool of venture capitalists and creating a forum where they can connect with the venture capital firms so that they will invest in you. The only ministry which is having venture capital funding also is the BIRAC. So they are maintaining this funding. So the next thing I would like to give you brief understanding of this ecosystem so that maybe you will look out for this kind of people for networking and building your institute's strength. So the first thing that you can collaborate is the incubators and launch pads. I know that many people are entering MOU with incubation centers. Okay, so you already know, have enough understanding about what are these incubation centers. But I urge you to actively look into their events, their sessions, so that you can have a good engagement with them. So maybe it's not always about funding or something event. A simple webinar on a topic. So you should gather some potential students and make them to listen to them, because all the small initiatives will give enough motivation for the student to switch their career into an entrepreneurship path, because it cannot happen overnight also. So we need the strong association with incubation centers and launch pads. We have both private and public incubation centers. I think that T-Hub is the one of the biggest platform and emerging on the national front. So we have many other things. We have Women Entrepreneurs Hub, we have the Rich, and we have the Atal Incubation Centers, Technology Business Incubation Centers. We have agri focus incubation centers like that. So you can increase your engagement with these incubation centers. So they will offer you some free visits. They will offer free access to webinars, and also they will give exclusive information about their funding calls. So imagine that in every year you can push 4 students who can receive 4 lakhs. That is a good achievement for your professional career also. The next thing is the academic entrepreneurship. So we have, every institute has the Institute's Innovation Council, and there are some sessions are happening. You are not very unfamiliar with this kind of topics. So some faculty are heading this in IICs. So they know every topic of the entrepreneurship. But IICs need to focus on good collaboration with incubation centers and other communities. So maybe college may not give the direct funding to students, but through IICs, we should get at least 5 students every year to get funded from outside. That is not the college funding. Only thing is we need to maintain good engagement. We need to keep an eye on the happenings, and we should make our students to participate in those challenges and events so that they will receive the funding. Because this maybe this will add to your personal profile also. Helping 10 students in your last 2-3 years with around assuming 4 lakhs each, 40 lakh rupee fund sourcing for students is a tremendous achievement for any academician also. So next one, government push. So this here we don't have much stake, but we should be watchful, because all these schemes are for our students and for faculty and for common people. So we should look at all these schemes and try to create a plans for ourselves so that we can utilize these funds. So next thing is the communities. We have a lot of communities in Hyderabad who will arrange this kind of events every month like that. So there are some open events where everyone also can go. For example, FICCI, Thai Global, and many associations from the universities. For example, I worked with the ALIP, Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India. This is an NGO working exclusive for the entrepreneurship. They create exhibitions, they create various events, webinars, training for the entrepreneurs only. So these hubs are working as these associations are working as NGOs. So you please identify this kind of NGOs who are working exclusive for the entrepreneurs and get in touch with them. So next thing is the investing community. So this is the sweet fruit of any community, because after certain level we need the good investments for our startups. So once you get into all the small activities like engaging with webinars, sessions, exhibitions, challenges, 4 lakh rupee funding, 7 lakh rupee funding and all, then definitely you will reach this stage where you can network with the actual people, investors. So apart from all these communities, the mentors and advisors, because maybe we may not be able to do everything uh, by our hand, but we should onboard the right people into our institute's committee or community, so that these people will give you ideas. These people will connect you with right person. These people will mentor your students. Only thing is you need to schedule the call with them, because usually the mentors and advisors don't seek the any monetary benefit also, because they are already successful as an entrepreneur or a retired government official or a retired head of some innovation center in university, or an dynamic startup professionals like me, who are always enthusiastic to engage with the institutes. So only thing you need to get their time and schedule some interactions with your students or with uh, your management, so that you both will develop the ideas and discussions, and you will apply to some meaningful platforms. So this nurturing and mentors and advisors group is very much effective and cost effective. And the various funding scheme mechanisms. The first thing I was talking is the Ministry of Electronics and IT, because all of your institutes might have this technology backdrop where students will come up with e-commerce, artificial intelligence, some electronics and automation, blockchain, robotics. So all these electronic and IT related startups can be funded in 3 different channels. One is 4 lakh rupee grant for their idea. Here, only thing is they need to present an idea and no need to present any proof of concept or equipment. Okay. So once utilizing, after utilizing 4 lakh, they may develop very full-fledged concept or a small prototype, that is enough. But it should help the society, obviously. So next thing is the grant support. Once a startup is already having proof of concept in hand to show, the only next thing is they should transform this product into a market ready product. For that, they will give you 7 lakh rupee grant again, no need to pay back. The 7 lakh can be utilized on the technology side, like better aesthetics design, better fabrication techniques, better technology, inbuilt technology. So also we need to test this product. This is the thing. So next thing is, once you have the market ready product in hand, you need to commercialize the product. For commercializing, you need the material, manpower, and some marketing and logistics. So for this, they are giving the investment grant. That is, we can call it as an acceleration grant. So this grant will give you 35 lakh rupee, which is also a non-refundable amount. You can utilize fully as per your plan, so that you will build the revenue for your product. So here I am giving you the links, so that you will explore the list of incubation centers which are eligible to give these grants. So you can identify how many incubation centers are there in Telangana, particularly Hyderabad. So you can keep an eye on them when they are releasing call for applications. So you can sensitize your students and make them apply. So these are few success stories that I wanted to explain. This is the Binford defense technology startup. They are they are fixing AK-47 weapons for these drones, so that Indian Army can encounter the soldiers without any man intervention. So this is already commercialized in the Indian Army, but this is a very initial photo. And next thing is the Metron. Metron innovations. We all see that patients are suffering with multiple salines at a time, and also there is a back pressure from our nerves, so that they feel lot of pain and bleeding. So to avoid that, there is an automation which controls multiple saline flow, also manipulates the pressure as per the body requirements. And this is a Jeremy ban. This product came out in COVID time because we were dependent on the liquid and gas sanitizers. So that is also harmful for our health. So they came up with this UV technology for sanitizing the entire air within few minutes. This is proved by CCMB also. And next thing we have uh, positive.in. Are you able to see my screen? Hello, madam.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, so we have a mental health startup that is positive.in. They help students prevent some suicidal tendencies by giving good content in voice and video format through the clinicians. And next we have Keystone Technologies. So this was the robotic idea which was not shortlisted, but fortunately we identified the potential in this. And this is a robot designed to clean our rivers and lakes. So it will collect all the water plants, plastic, everything without any man intervention. Also run by some solar and hybrid energy. So this product is launched by Sabitendra Reddy madam. Later they got another 20 lakh rupee funding, seed funding from the HDFC initiative. So similarly, we have another edutech startup who are offering the courses in the vernacular languages. Because we see every course is running in English, hardly Hindi, but we need the Telugu courses, we need the Urdu courses for those people. Then these students can get into the corporates. The second funding I am introducing is the DST, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India is leading the startup entrepreneurship in India since many decades. So under this, we have around 150 plus technology business incubation centers across India. So they are offering co-working space, mentoring, funding, and various market supports also. So they also have the similar funding channels. That is the initial fellowship of 3.6 lakhs for students to convert their small concept into a proof of concept. So next thing is we have the Nidhi Prayas. That is the 10 lakh rupee grant for converting prototype proof of concept into a prototype. So you can see the similarity between the ministries. Everyone is helping both idea stage students, they are helping with the prototype students and the seed support which is required to hit the market. So all these are available. So they also have an acceleration program which will give them much more services than the above three. Here there is a link for a list of centers which can support this service. Next, we have the Atal Innovation Mission chain of incubation centers. I worked in the both TBI and the Atal Incubation Centers. Both work in similar fashion with small differences in procedures. But Atal Innovation Mission, we have around 75 incubation centers. They don't have this kind of idea stage and prototype stage funding, but they have one Atal Seed Fund that is given as a loan format without any collaterals. So, and another ongoing event is Atal New India Challenge. So I think everyone can register this through this link. So through this challenge, all applications will be considered from at the ministry level at New Delhi. So funding support up to 1 crore is possible through this. So here are the two links which you can utilize to browse the approved Atal incubation centers in India. Next, we have DPIIT. So this is an open platform opportunity for every startup. For the only eligibility criteria is they should have the DPIIT certificate. So this is given to a startup when the startup is registered under private limited, LLP, or a registered partnership firm. So then they can get this DPIIT. Also, startup should not be registered more than 10 years back. So then they can DPIT certificate is possible. And the other eligibility criteria is not all DPIT certified startups are eligible, but startups registered not older than 2 years are eligible for this. So through this, they can create a login ID and the Startup India Seed Fund portal. They can fill all the profile details and they can select 3 incubation centers out of anything from any state. So only thing is you need to have a good relation before applying to that incubation centers. Once they are very comfortable to give you funding, so you can select them. Otherwise, you will misutilize your chance because you cannot apply every time. You can apply once in every 45 days. So this Startup India Fund is giving grant for early stage people up to 20 lakhs and a loan without any collaterals and at a very nominal rate of 7.5% up to 50 lakhs. So you can see the link here. And these are the startups which were funded by us. And this is the Paid Payments Private Limited. This is a fintech startup that is coming up. So we know that various payment gateways are available, like Paytm is there, BillDesk is there. But for a small entrepreneur, it is not possible to get every subscription. They hardly afford one subscription. But sometimes, I think I'm getting revoice. Sometimes servers can be down of that particular server. So that time sales will go down. The customer may not come back. So to tackle this paid payments is creating another gateway, which is integration of all the 160 plus payment gateways. So they are offering under one subscription also at around 15% less commission rate. That's why the startup is selected and funded by us with 10 lakh rupee in the initial stage. Now they are making 3.8 crore as I saw in May month. Another startup is Edge4 Solutions, founded by retired Colonel Prabhakaran Hani, and he made with his innovations and problem statements found in the Indian Army grounds. He came up with some solutions. So we supported them in 2 rounds. One is 20 lakh rupees from Startup India Seed Fund and another 35 lakh from Mighty, because both companies accepted him. Now he is valued at around 50 crore rupee and he is raising investment at very rapid phase. We have many other startups to discuss like this. This is the autocracy machinery. We know that we see even when our scientists are capable of sending satellites to Mars, still we dig our roads with Tata, Hitachi or JCB for laying a cable. This is the something sarcastic, but we still use some traditional equipment. So this machinery is coming up with precision digging and trenching machines, which will work at 3 times faster than the JCBs. So that's why they were funded with 20 lakh rupee funding, but they received $1 million funding from the Niti Aayog just 2 months back. This is how this early stage funding will help in the secondary funding also. Similarly, these people were premium was funded in the initial stage to bring some product so that we get 8 lakh rupee. But after that, they are also required funding. Another 10 lakh was also given. So when they have product in hand, they established a plant with 72 lakh funding from the PMFME scheme. Because they have product in hand that is possible through the innovation grants, they can get the other fundings from banks or investors. So we have the RKVY Raftar scheme for the agri-tech and food tech startups. So even DST, Department of Farmers Welfare and Agriculture, established 24-hour agri-business incubation centers in India. So through which they are supporting the technology transfer, mentoring, all these things. So they are also supporting both idea stage and the acceleration stage. So for ideation, they are giving 5 lakh rupee fellowship grant. And for market entry activities, they are giving 25 lakh rupee grant. So here you can check out the eligible list of centers. And next we have the Department of Biotechnology. So this is a very huge ministry with lot of funding structures. Similar, you can find some similarities that they are giving 50 lakh rupee for ideation to proof of concept, another 30 lakh rupee for seed stage. Also, they are giving the equity funding through their investment entity up to 7 crore rupees. So this is not a loan, this is not a grant, but the ministry itself becomes the partner in your institute, your organization. So they also have a angel investor platform. So as I told, this is the only ministry conducting this kind of platform where you can raise the funding from VCs. So there are other initiatives which can be explored from this slide. We have the relevant links also available. Next, we have the Ministry of MSME. So you must be knowing this initiative, Startup India, sorry, innovation hackathons. Already 2 seasons happened. Every year they are disbursing around 250 crores. So last year around 50 innovative ideas were selected from Telangana state. That is good achievement. So please be watchful of the next call for applications. This time you nominate as many students as possible because they can get funding up to 15 lakh rupee as a grant. So this is also very good funding without looking at even a product or something. They are granting up to 15 lakh rupee. So maybe you can consider this as a serious thing. This is a pan-India platform. This is the link. You can search like innovation grants, MSME idea hackathons. This is the keyword you can use. Next one we know that this PME-GP loan. For example, if a student or some faculty having not an innovative idea, but a commercial product, so they can directly go for this PME-GP. There is no investor pitching, there is no pitch deck, anything. Only thing, there is no need of innovation, but you should have a good project report. Like you want to make a bakery unit. Of course, it's a possibility from the PME-GP. You can get loan up to 50 lakh, and out of which around 5 to 10% can be up to 35% can be subsidy also based on your community and the location. So for this, a small ADP course is required, which can be done once the project is submitted. So you can explore this application process here. So one more beneficial thing is PME-GP website is having around 150 different model project reports like bakery, Xerox center, like that, or paper cup making unit like that. So you can explore that also. You can see the project reports, costings, everything. Then you can make your own report. The only advice is you need to meet the bank manager first, explain your needs. Based on his suggestion, you can select that branch in the website. It will be more, it will give you more probability of success. So with this, I explained you about what is enterprise, what is startup, what is the wide model to understand the startup concept. What is the importance of encouraging entrepreneurship in the campus? What are the benefits for students? What are the benefits for campus? And also explained 8 different schemes which can be helpful. Now I would like to conclude this session with simple actions that can be taken by you. First thing is you can join some WhatsApp groups or social media pages of this entrepreneurship stakeholders like incubation centers, angel investors. For example, Paddle Start is a private incubation hub. They are also running their own programs. Like that, you please be part of this online communities. Next, be watchful of some information on training, seminars, exhibitions, most important thing is the funding calls and various challenges. So when you have this information, you will have sufficient deadline. So you can work on idea or you can motivate 10 different potential students to work on this challenge. Then initiate small activities in your campus, like arranging a session by an entrepreneur or inviting some professional to talk on the entrepreneurship or product development. So all these initiatives will add to something creation of the mindset in the campus. Next thing, help your students to nominate themselves in the challenges and funding calls. So because we no need to sit with them and make their documentation. At least we should select potential students with ideas. We should push them to apply this, participate this. Because at the end, even if they fail, it will add to their profile. So that thing you can do without intervention of funding from management. Next thing is you can gain some grip on it, making the investor pitch deck. Maybe in this program also they will teach the investor pitch deck presentation. So please learn this investor pitch deck presentation. So you can help some students to make this PPT so that they can, with a single PPT for one idea, they can attend, they can participate in as many as events possible. So maybe when they attempt 10, 15 things, they will get a lot of knowledge and experience. They will get one funding at least. So this is the framework I suggest all of the audience here. Next thing, the last thing is propose and help your institute to bring some startup incubation hub within your campus. This can be possible with government schemes or partnering with some private corporations like Microsoft Hubs, Google Startups Hubs, or we have Mumbai Angel Investors Network, Hyderabad Angel Investor Network, We Founder Circle. Those people will help you with setting up hubs with some kind of grant and takeaways. So this is the simple 6-pillar approach. Join WhatsApp groups and virtual groups, watch the information on exhibitions, funding calls, and initiate small activities within campus and helps students to nominate themselves and participate in as many events as possible. Then draft some applications for your students also when it is required. Because when you know what is pitch deck, you will guide your students to make this pitch deck first. Because when a student comes to your office with an idea, brief this pitch deck template and ask him to present the idea in the same format. So this PPT can be used in participating all the external events. Next, try to bring some kind of innovation hubs to your campus. With this, I would like to conclude my session. And this is my social media handles and phone number. I will be more than happy to help you in any entrepreneurship domain. And if you need any connects also, I will be happy to connect with right person. So now I would like to hear from you any doubts or queries.
Any queries from the participants? You can unmute yourself and raise the question.
Somebody has raised the hand.
Can please unmute, madam? Is anyone interested to ask any of the question? To get clarified, please unmute yourself. ఆవిడ మాట్లాడతారు.
Otherwise, they can use the chat box or we can close this session.
Thank you, sir, for actually having a wonderful session to giving lot of insights, at least 8 to 9 different agencies where the funding is can be flooded in to make more and more entrepreneurs in our institutions. Very happy that you have shared a lot of practical exposure and how to convert the idea into a product in hand. I'm very much thankful to you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to give my insights and experience for the relevant faculty from various institutes. I look forward to maybe they can connect on my WhatsApp number or social media handles for any queries or support. Thank you very much, Padma ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, sir. So, my dear participants, we'll have the tomorrow session by 9:20. Please join in the session, and 4 valuable sessions are there for tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam.